Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Blog Podcast. Today is Saturday, April 14th, 2018. Today I'm going to recap last night's Stanley Cup playoff action, look ahead to today's Stanley Cup playoff action, go over last night's Major League Baseball results, look ahead to today's MLB games, look ahead to today's NBA playoff games and make predictions for the games, do my NBA mock draft, the second edition of it, and give out my All-NBA defense and All-NBA rookie teams. Alright, Stanley Cup playoffs last night. Nice bounce-back win for the Philadelphia Flyers, who are 5-1 winners over the Pittsburgh Penguins to even up the series at 1 apiece. Shane Gostisbehere got it going on the power play from Claude Giroux and Sean Couturier to make it 1-0 Philly. Second period, early in the period, Sean Couturier 2-0 Philly, assisted by Ivan Provorov and Michael Raffl. Early in the third period, Travis Konecny, first of the playoffs, make it 3-0 Flyers, assisted by Wade Simmons and Ivan Provorov. Nolan Patrick's first career Stanley Cup playoff goal puts the Flyers up 4-0, assisted by Sean Couturier and Jacob Voracek. Penguins get on the board on a goal by Patrick Hornqvist, assisted by Justin Schultz and Brian Dumoulin to make it a 4-1 game. Andrew McDonald puts it away to make it a 5-1 final. That last goal is assisted by Jory Lathera. A nice bounce-back game for Brian Elliott, as he had 34 saves on 35 shots. Murray didn't have a great game at all for Pittsburgh, 15 saves on 19 shots. The Jets defeated the Wild 4-1 to take a 2-0 series lead. Tyler Myers in the second period made it 1-0 Winnipeg, assisted by Jack Roslovic, and Ben Chariot. Third period, Paul Stastny makes it 2-0, assisted by Patrick Laine and Dustin Byfuglien. Andrew Kopp made it 3-0, assisted by Brian Little and Jack Roslovic. And Patrick Laine, second of the playoffs, makes it 4-0 Winnipeg, assisted by Nikolaj Ehlers and Tyler Myers. And a garbage goal for Minnesota, Zach Parise, second of the playoffs on the power play to make it a 4-1 game, assisted by Mikko Koivu and Jonas Brodin. Devin Dubnyk, 40 saves on 44 shots to keep Winnipeg in the game. Connor Hellebuyck, 16 saves on 17 shots. Give Winnipeg's defense a lot of credit in this one, as they did a good job preventing the Wild from getting a lot of shots. What was the best game of the playoffs so far? The Vegas Golden Knights defeated the Los Angeles Kings 2-1 in double overtime to take a 2-0 series lead. Alex Tuch on the power play gave Vegas a 1-0 lead, assisted by Jonathan Marchessault and Riley Smith. And then in the second period on the power play, Paul Deleu ties it up at 1 apiece, assisted by Dion Phaneuf and Michael Amadio. And the overtime winner, the hero for the Golden Knights, Eric Hall, is first of the playoffs, assisted by James Neal and Shea Theodore, gave Vegas a 2-1 win. Marc-Andre Fleury was great again in this game. 29 saves on 30 shots, and Jonathan Quick was just incredible. 54 saves on 56 shots. Today, you have on NBC or CNBC, depending on your local listings, the Avalanche at the Predators. Nashville leads the series 1-0, and I believe they'll go up 2-0 in this series. I just think the Preds are by far better team. Give me the Preds 4-1. Another big game for Philip Forsberg and Pekka Rinne, as I just don't think the Avs have the guts to win a game in Nashville, and I could be wrong. They had a 2-1 lead in the game. And then the Devils at the Lightning, 3 o'clock on NBC or CNBC, depending on your local listings. Tampa's a 1-0 series lead. New Jersey played well later on in that game, but if they didn't get off that slow start, maybe they steal that game in overtime or something. You know what? I want to be ballsy and pick the Devils to win the game on the road, but I just think Tampa's better at home. So give me the Lightning, the pull-off, game 2. Let's say 4-2 in regulation, and that last goal is scored on an empty net goal. So let's say another competitive game by New Jersey, and they just fall short. Maple Leafs at the Bruins. The Maple Leafs looking to rebound from that tough Game 1 loss. Nazem Kadri suspended for this one. That's a loss for Toronto, but I don't think they'll lose the game on the hockey ice. So give me the Toronto to steal a 2-1 win on the road in overtime as Freddie Anderson stands on his head. And last but not least, you have the Sharks and the Ducks. Sharks lead the series 1-0 as the Ducks look to rebound at home. And I think the Ducks will rebound at home to tie the series up at 1 apiece. Give me the Ducks in a 4-2 game, and the last goal being scored on an empty net. So give me the Ducks to tie up the series at 1 game apiece. All right, Major League Baseball. Couple interesting results from last night. We'll look ahead to today's games as well. The Braves defeated the Cubs 4-0 as they improve to 8-5. Chicago drops to 6-7. Anibal Sanchez with the win. Yu Darvish with the loss. Ozzie Albies scores on Yu Darvish's wild pitch in the top of the 5th inning to make it a 1-0 Braves lead. And also the 5th inning home run by Preston Tucker, a 3-run shot, got Atlanta up 4-0 for good. Anibal Sanchez looked really good. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 1.29 ERA. Yu Darvish, 4 2/3 inning, 9 hits, 9 earned runs, 4 walks, and 4 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 6 ERA. The Cardinals defeat the Reds 5-3 as they improve to 7-7. Cincinnati drops to 2-11. Luke Weaver with the win. Tyler Mahle with the loss. Bud Norris with the save. Top of the 2nd inning, home run Yadier Molina, 1-0 Cardinals. Top of the 6th, here comes a couple runs. Home run Dexter Fowler, 2-0 Cards. RBI single Marcell Ozuna, 3-0 Cards. RBI single Yadier Molina, 5-0 Cards, and that scored in 2. Bottom of the 7th, the Reds get on the board on a home run by Devin Mesoraco to make it a 5-2 game. RBI single Joey Votto to make it 5-3 in the bottom of the 8th, and that was your scoring. Luke Weaver, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 2.08 ERA. Tyler Mahle, 5 1/3 innings, 9 hits, 5 earned runs, 5 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 5.63 ERA. The Rockies defeat the Nationals 2-1 as they improve to 8-7. Washington drops to 6-8. The win, Scott Oberg, lost Taylor Roark, and the save Wade Davis. Top of the 4th, home run Carlos Gonzalez, 1-0 Rockies. Bottom of the 5th, sacrifice fly Bryce Harper to tie it up at 1 apiece. Top of the 6th, sacrifice fly Carlos Gonzalez make it 2-1 Rockies for good. Kyle Freeland, 4 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 4.5 ERA. Tanner Roark, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 3.5 ERA. The Nats offense has been ice cold, and it makes sense because as Bryce Harper goes, the Nats offense goes. The Red Sox defeated the Orioles 7-3 as they improved to an AL best 11-2. Baltimore drops to 5-9. Eduardo Rodriguez with the win. Chris Tillman with the loss. Top of the 1st, sacrifice fly Adam Jones, 1-0 O's. Bottom of the 1st, sacrifice fly JD Martinez tied up at 1 apiece. Bottom of the 1st, 3-run home run Eduardo Nunez, 4-1 Sox. Bottom of the 2nd, RBI double Mookie Betts, 5-1 Sox. Bottom of the 3rd, 6-1 Sox on a pass ball by Caleb Joseph that scored in Rafael Devers. Bottom of the 6th, 7-1 Sox on a wild pitch by Mike Wright Jr. that scored in Mitch Moreland. And then at the top of the 2nd, 2-run double Manny Machado to get the O's within 4. 7-3 is your final. Eduardo Rodriguez, 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 3.72 ERA. So he had a better start than he did when he came off the DL. Chris Tillman was terrible. 2 innings, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. Leaves the game with a very ugly 11.91 ERA. The Yankees bounce back at defeat the Tigers 8-6 as they improve to 7-7. Detroit drops to 4-9. Jordan Montgomery with the win. Mike Fiers with the loss. Aroldis Chapman with the save. Top of the 2nd, a 2-run inside the park home run by Aaron Hicks to make it a 2-0 Yankees lead. Top of the 5th, RBI double Brett Gardner, 3-0 Yanks. Also on the top of the 5th, RBI single Aaron Judge, 4-0 Yanks. Also on the top of the 5th, Aaron Judge scores on a throwing error by Dixon Machado as Didi Gregorius is safe at second base to make it 5-0 Yanks. Bottom of the 5th, the Tigers get on the board on a home run by James McCann to make it 5-1. Top of the 6th, a regular home run for Aaron Hicks to make it 6-1 Yanks. Bottom of the 7th, here come the Tigers. RBI double Victor Martinez to make it a 6-2 game. Sacrifice fly James McCann to make it 6-3. Top of the 8th, RBI single Ronald Torreyes, 7-3 Yanks. Sacrifice fly Didi Gregorius, 8-3 Yanks in the top of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th, solo home run, Javier Calendario to make it an 8-4 game. Also in the bottom of the 8th, RBI single, James McCann to make it 8-5. And an RBI single by Jose Iglesias to make it 8-6. That was their scoring for the game. Dellin Betances struggled in that 8th inning as he allowed the Tigers to get back in the game. Jordan Montgomery was really good. 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 4.7 ERA. Mike Fiers, 5 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, a walk, and 4 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 3.86 ERA. The Blue Jays defeat the Indians 8-4. That's an impressive win for Toronto as they improved to 9-5. Cleveland drops to 8-6. The win by Danny Barnes. The loss, Zach McAllister. Bottom of the first, Indians got on the board first on a RBI single by Yonder Alonso to make it a 1-0 game. RBI single, Tyler Naquin made it 2-0 in the bottom of the first. Bottom of the second, RBI double, Francisco Lindor to make it 3-0. Ground rule double, Jason Kipnis made it 4-0 in the bottom of the second. Top of the fourth, RBI single, Kevin Pillar, 4-1 Blue Jays. And the Blue Jays tied up at 4 apiece on a home run by Edlemis Diaz in the top of the fourth. Top of the seventh, the Blue Jays just took over. Teoscar Hernandez, RBI double, 5-4 Toronto. 2-run double, Steve Pearce, 7-4 Toronto. Now is in the top of the ninth. And Teoscar Hernandez, RBI double in the top of the ninth as well to make it an 8-4 final. Marcus Stroman, 5 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 7.98 ERA. Mike Clevenger, 4 innings, 3 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 2.7 ERA. The Mets defeated the Brewers 6-5 to win their 9th in a row. They are 11-1. The Brewers are 7-7. Steven Matz with the win, Zach Davies with the loss, Jesus Familia with the save. Bottom of the first, the Mets got it going on a RBI single by Yoenis Cespedes to make it 1-0. Bottom of the second, home run, Todd Frazier is first as a Met, 2-0 Mets. Top of the fourth, game-tying home run by Hector Perez to make it a 2-2 game. Bottom of the fourth, Todd Frazier again, 3-2 Mets. Bottom of the fifth, RBI double, Jade Bruce to make it 4-2 Mets. Bottom of the fifth, sacrifice fly, Adrian Gonzalez, 5-2 Mets. Bottom of the fifth, Jay Bruce scored on Dan Jennings' wild pitch to make it a 6-2 game. Top of the sixth, the Brewers making it interesting. 2-run shot by Ryan Braun to make it a 6-4 game. And in the top of the eighth, a home run by Travis Shaw to make it a 6-5 final. Steven Matz, 5 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 3.77 ERA. So he's had his best start of the early season so far. Zach Davies, 4 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 6.75 ERA. The Marlins defeated the Pirates 7-2 as they improve to 4-9. Pittsburgh drops to 9-4. That's a very bad loss for Pittsburgh. Dylan Peters with the win, Chad Cole with the loss. Bottom of the second, J.B. Shuck scored on a wild pitch by Chad Cole to make it 1-0 Marlins. Top of the fifth, a home run by Elias Diaz to give the Pirates a 2-1 lead. In the bottom of the fifth, in what appeared to be a sacrifice fly by Starlin Castro, 2 more runs scored on a throwing error by Elias Diaz. So that made it 4-1 Marlins. Bottom of the sixth, sacrifice fly by Chad Wallach to make it 5-2 Marlins. Bottom of the seventh, 2-run home run, Justin Bohr, 7-2 Marlins. Dylan Peters, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 6.75 ERA. So Peters looks more like the pitcher that dominated against the Cubs in this start than the one that was a part of the disaster in Philadelphia last weekend when they gave up 20 runs. And for Pittsburgh, Chad Cole, 5 innings, 11 hits, 4 earned runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 5.74 ERA. The Phillies defeated the Rays 2-1 to improve to 7-5. Tampa drops to 3-10. The win, Edubie Ramos. The loss, Alex Colon to save Hector Neris. Bottom of the second, RBI single, Malik Smith to get Tampa on the board. Top of the sixth, RBI single to tie the game for Carlos Santana. They tied up at 1 apiece. Top of the ninth, RBI single, Jorge Alfaro, which was an infield single, make it 2-1 final for the Phils. Vince Velasquez was pretty good, 6 2/3 innings, 4 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 7 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 3.52 ERA. Jacob Faria, 5 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts, leaves the game with an 8.18 ERA. The Astros defeated the Rangers 3-2 as they improved to 10-4. Texas drops to 4-11. Joe Smith with the win. Kevin Jepson with the loss. Chris Stavinsky with the save. Bottom of the first, leadoff home run, George Springer, 1-0 Astros. Bottom of the fifth, another home run by George Springer, 2-0 Astros. Top of the seventh, home run Joey Gallo to get the Rangers on the board, 2-1 game. Robinson Chirinos ties the game at 2 apiece on a home run in the top of the seventh as well. Bottom of the eighth, go ahead, RBI single, Marvin Gonzalez to make it a 3-2 final. Garrett Cole, 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, and 14 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 1.29 ERA. So he gave up those 2 home runs to the Rangers, but other than that, he was outstanding. He's making teams regret trading for him, and that's most notably the New York Yankees, who nearly acquired him, but was unwilling to give up some prospects for him. Cole Hamels, 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 4.5 ERA, so he has his best start of the early season. The Angels defeated the Royals 5-4 as they improved to 12-3. Casey drops to 3-9. The win, Blake Wood. The loss, Justin Grimm. The save, Kenyon Middleton. Top of the third, 2-run home run, Albert Pujols, making a 2-0 Angels lead. Bottom of the third, RBI single, Whit Merrifield to put Casey on the board. Bottom of the fourth, Casey ties it up at 2 apiece on a RBI single by Paulo Orlando. Bottom of the fourth, the Royals actually take a 2-run lead on a 2-run single. Cam Gallagher, as there was a throwing error by Drelton Simmons, which allowed Gallagher to go to third. Top of the seventh, RBI single, Albert Pujols to make it a 4-3 game. Top of the eighth, game-tying RBI single, Luis Valbuena to tie it up at 4 apiece. Top of the eighth, sacrifice fly, Ian Kinsler, 5-4, that's your final. Andrew Heaney, 5 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, and 7 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 5.4 ERA. Jason Hamill, 5 in the third innings, 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 3.86 ERA. The Mariners defeated the Athletics 7-4 as they improved to 7-4. Oakland drops to 5-9. The win, Dan Altavilla. The loss, Daniel Colombe. The save, Edwin Diaz. Top of the first, 2-run home run, Chris Davis to get Oakland on the board. Bottom of the first, Mariners get on the board on an RBI single by Mitch Haniger to make it a 1-run game. Bottom of the first, Kyle Seager, RBI double to tie it up at 2 apiece. Top of the sixth, home run Matt Chapman to give the A's a 3-2 lead. Bottom of the seventh, 3-run home run by Mitch Haniger to give Seattle a 5-3 lead. Also in the bottom of the seventh, the home run by Dan Vogelbach to put the Mariners up 7-3. Top of the eighth, another home run by Chris Davis, make it a 7-4 game, and that was your final. Mike Leake, 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 3.5 ERA. Andrew Triggs, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 2.87 ERA. The Diamondbacks defeated the Dodgers 8-7 as they improved to 10-3. Dodgers dropped to 4-8. Zach Greinke with the win, Kenta Maeda with the loss, Brad Boxberger with the save. Top of the first, Diamondbacks on the board first. RBI single, Danny Descalso. Bottom of the first, Chris Taylor ties it up at 1 apiece on a solo shot. Top of the third, wild pitch by Kenta Maeda scores in Zach Greinke to give Arizona a 2-1 lead. A pass ball by Yasmani Grandal scores in David Peralta to make it a 3-1 game. And then a sacrifice fly by Danny Descalso, 4-1 Diamondbacks. RBI double, Gerard Dyson, 5-1 Diamondbacks. And that was all on the top of the third. Bottom of the sixth, home run Cody Bellinger to make it a 5-2 game. Top of the seventh, 2-run home run Danny Descalso to make it 7-2 Diamondbacks. Bottom of the seventh, infield single by Chris Taylor makes it 7-3 Diamondbacks. Dodgers get within 3 on an RBI single by Corey Seager. Dodgers get within 2 on an RBI single by Matt Kemp. Top of the eighth, home run Nick Ahmed to put the Diamondbacks up 8-5. Bottom of the eighth, 2-run single by Chase Utley to get the Dodgers within 1, but that was your ball game. Zach Greinke, 6 in the third innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, a walk, and 7 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 5.29 ERA. Kenta Maeda, 2 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 2.08 ERA. The Padres defeated the Giants 5-1 as they improve to 5-10. San Francisco drops to 6-7. Tyson Russ with the win, Ty Block with the loss, Brad Hand with the save. Bottom of the fifth, the Padres put up a 2-spot RBI single, Tyson Ross, make it 1-0 San Diego. Bottom of the fifth, RBI single, Jose Pirela 2-0 Padres. Bottom of the 6th, Christian Villanueva, RBI double, 3-0 Padres. RBI single, Freddie Galvis, 4-0 Padres. Top of the 7th, RBI single, Joe Panic to get the Giants on the board, make it a 4-1 game. Bottom of the 2nd, home run by Frankie Cordano, make it 5-1 Padres. And that was it for scoring. Ross went 6 innings, 7 hits, a walk, and 5 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 3.5 ERA. Ty Black, 5 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts, leaves the game with a 4.43 ERA. White Sox Twins was rained out. That postponed date is to be determined. Today's slate, you have the Orioles against the Red Sox. Alex Cobb's O's debut against Hector Velasquez for the Red Sox. Rockies Nationals, and that is a good pitching matchup. John Gray against Max Scherzer. You have the Cardinals at the Reds with Miles McCollum and Brandon Finnegan. Yankees at the Tigers. It could very well be postponed due to rain, which I really think is a strong possibility. If they are to play ball, it's Luis Cessa making his first start of the season against Francisco Liriano. You have the White Sox at the Twins. Miguel Gonzalez against Lance Lynn. The Braves at the Cubs. Sean Newcomb against Jose Quintana. Rangers at the Astros on FS1. Mike Minor against Charlie Morton. The Astros are just on a roll right now. The Rangers are a mess, and the Rangers look to be heading for a very long season. So give me the Astros to get the win on home field, as Charlie Morton's pitched better than a number 5 starter this season. You have the Blue Jays at the Indians. Jaime Garcia against Corey Kluber. Phillies at the Rays. Jake Arrieta against Chris Archer, so that's a good pitching matchup. The Brewers at the Mets. Chase Anderson against Matt Harvey. Pirates at the Marlins. The Pirates looking to bounce back from yesterday's disappointing loss. Jameson Taillon against Trevor Richards. You have the Angels at the Royals. Garrett Richards against Jacob Junis. You have the Giants at the Padres. Derek Holland against Clayton Richard. Athletics at the Mariners. Kendall Graven against Marco Gonzalez. Diamondbacks Dodgers. You have Tyjon Walker against Rich Hill. That's your Major League Baseball slate for today. And I forgot to mention Royals at Angels, or Angels at Royals is on FS1. Give me the Royals to snap the winning streak of the Angels. I like Garrett Richards. Jacob Junis has pitched really well for the Royals. I just think the Royals are due for a win, and I think this is a nice opportunity here with Junis on the bump, who's been perhaps their best pitcher so far. You can make a case for him or Ian Kennedy for best starter on the Royals so far this season. NBA, the playoffs begin today. There's 4 games on the schedule. Spurs at the Warriors, 3 o'clock on ABC. I think this is going to be some game. I'm very fascinated to see how both teams come out. No Stephen Curry, no Kawhi Leonard. Give me the Warriors by double digits here. Let's say 105-93. Spurs hang around for 3 quarters, and the Warriors take over in the 4th. Wizards, Raptors, Toronto. Bad history with game 1s. But I think they'll win today's game 1 thanks to the backcourt of Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan. I think OG Anunoby is going to have an impact in this game. Fred VanVleet off the bench. I don't love the Wizards bench, especially with the Jody Meeks suspension. I just don't trust Washington away from home, although I could be totally wrong on that one. The Heat at the 76ers. No Joel Embiid. But you know what? I think the moment's going to catch up to Philadelphia just for this game. I like Miami to go into Philadelphia and steal one on the road. Let's say 105-100 as Dwayne Wade turns back the clock and hits some big shots in the 4th quarter. And Wizards-Raptors, I didn't give out a score. Let's say it's close, so 110-106 for Wiz-Raptors. And then I said 105-100 Miami for the road upset in Game 1. Pelicans Trailblazers is going to be a great game. Anthony Davis and Damian Lillard are MVP candidates, and the Pelicans deserve a lot of credit for being here after the Boogie Cousins injury. Alvin Gentry I probably should have had on my Coach of the Year list, but to me, I just give more credit to Anthony Davis because I'm not the biggest Gentry fan in the world, but he did a great job this season. Terry Stotts has done great this year as well for the Blazers as they're in the playoffs for the 5th straight year. I really like this Blazers team a lot, and I think they'll win Game 1, although Anthony Davis will put up a monster game. Let's say 120 to 117 in overtime. I think this is going to be a great, great game out in the Western Conference. Now I'm going to do my NBA mock draft, my second edition of it. Couple changes from the first one. And the other thing is that we won't know the draft order until after the draft lottery. 1. Phoenix Suns, DeAndre Ayton, center, Arizona. Ayton is perhaps the draft's best prospect due to his size, soft touch at the rim, and his promising jump shot. He's drawn comparisons to Joel Embiid and Patrick Ewing, and the Suns, who really don't have a long-term true center, won't want to pass up on him. 2. Memphis Grizzlies. Luka Doncic, shooting guard, small forward, Real Madrid. Doncic will be the most proven player in this draft due to his success overseas. Doncic is an ideal fit for the perimeter-oriented league and should have a long, productive NBA career. The Grizzlies need youth on the perimeter, and it's only a matter if Doncic becomes a star or not. 3. Dallas Mavericks. Marvin Bagley, power forward, center, Duke. This would be an intriguing fit for many reasons. Bagley was perhaps the best player in college basketball this past season and has had great athleticism and could shoot it from 3. He would be their long-term replacement for Dirk Nowitzki, and Bagley has franchise player potential. 4. Atlanta Hawks, Mohamed Bamba, center, Texas. Bamba doesn't have much of an offensive game, but his defensive presence with his height and shot blocking should appeal to any team. Bamba's fit on the Hawks would be interesting because they have John Collins on their roster, and they do. And would they play them together, or does one of them have to come off the bench early on? 5. Orlando Magic, Trae Young, point guard, Oklahoma. This may be a reach, but the Magic have a needed point guard after the trading of Elfrid Payton, and they already have a lot of bigs on their roster. Young is very polarizing because of how his season went and how defenses started figuring him out in conference play. That said, he has a Steph Curry type of ceiling, and the Magic wouldn't pass on it. 6. Sacramento Kings, Michael Porter Jr., small forward, power forward, Missouri. Although Porter barely played college basketball, he's still worth picking here at 6. Porter had great offensive skill set and a good three-point range, but questions range about his mobility. The Kings need combo forwards with potential, and Porter is worth the risk. 7. Chicago Bulls. Jaren Jackson Jr., power forward, center, Michigan State. Jackson is a bit of a wild card in this lottery portion of the draft, considering he exceeded expectations as a freshman in college and played his way to this position. Although he struggled in the big dance, his rim protecting as well as perimeter game were excellent. 8. Cleveland Cavaliers from the Brooklyn Nets via the Boston Celtics. Wendell Carter Jr., power forward, center, Duke. The Cavs can go multiple directions with this pick, but let's slate Carter in this spot. Carter was very overshadowed on the Blue Devils due to his teammates' success, but his defense is excellent. He provides spacing on the floor. Carter could possibly replace Kevin Love if they decide to move on from him this summer. 9. New York Knicks. Colin Sexton, point guard, Alabama. Let the Sexton versus Trae Young debate begin. I have Sexton going here due to his athleticism and his ability to get to the basket. That is something the Knicks have lacked for years now, and Sexton is the safer bet here, as I have Young going higher in this version of the mock. 10. Philadelphia 76ers from Los Angeles Lakers via the Phoenix Suns. Mikal Bridges, small forward, Villanova. Bridges took a massive leap this year for the Wildcats due to his 3-and-D capability. Bridges is one of the best bets of this draft. The Sixers would be a nice landing spot for him, as he could begin off the bench and could eventually start. 11. Charlotte Hornets, Miles Bridges, small forward, Michigan State. Although Bridges might end up becoming a small ball power forward in the future due to his average ball handling, he is a great shooter on the wing and provides great athleticism. Bridges would be a nice fit on the rebuilding Hornets team, as they can view him as a building block going forward. 12. Los Angeles Clippers from the Detroit Pistons. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, point guard, shooting guard, Kentucky. Gilgeous Alexander's stock is trending up after he had a great season for the Wildcats. He has great size and finishing craft, defensive versatility, and maybe even quickness. Gilgeous Alexander would be a nice piece for the Clippers going forward as they enter a rebuild. 13. Los Angeles Clippers. Robert Williams, power forward center, Texas A&M. Williams could have been a lottery pick last year, but decided to come back to school for one more season. Williams isn't known for his offense, but he's great at rebounding and defending the rim. He could be a poor man's DeAndre Jordan. 14. Denver Nuggets. Kevin Knox, small forward, Kentucky. Knox hasn't been as consistent as a shooter as the Wildcats hoped, but he still projects as a solid defender and can rebound very well. If he develops a shot, he could end up as the small forward of the future for the Nuggets. 15. Washington Wizards. Mitchell Robinson, center, Chalmette High School in Louisiana. This pick would be considered a reach. Robinson had a year off from competitive basketball and has no experience beyond high school. Robinson provides athleticism and shot blocking, which will intrigue teams, although there are questions about what else he can provide. 16. Phoenix Suns from the Milwaukee Bucks. Lonnie Walker, shooting guard, Miami. Walker didn't have the greatest freshman season due to coming off his meniscus tear, which provides an interesting case for him to return to Miami for his sophomore season. That said, Walker is worth taking this spot due to his pure talent and potential. 17. Phoenix Suns from the Miami Heat. Troy Brown, shooting guard, small forward, Oregon. Brown is an interesting prospect considering that he had a solid season at Oregon but has a reputation of disappearing in games. Brown's size and ball handling ability is what makes him worth a selection at this spot. 18. San Antonio Spurs. Zanon Musa, small forward, Cedevita. Musa is an intriguing international prospect that is motivated to play in the NBA. Musa is a great scorer on the wing and his playmaking skills are improving. The Spurs love international prospects, so this pick makes a lot of sense. 19. Atlanta Hawks from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Zaire Smith, shooting guard, Texas Tech. Smith went from a 3-star recruit to a likely first-round pick thanks to elite athleticism and ultra-aggressive two-way play at Texas Tech. His freshman season was full of highlight reel plays with tip dunks and chase-down blocks becoming nightly occurrences. 20. Indiana Pacers. Anfernee Simmons, point guard, shooting guard, IMG Academy. Simmons is a bit undersized for a shooting guard, which makes him a bit of a project, but he can attack the basket and has a decent shot, but must develop on the defensive end. Darren Collison isn't around for the long term, so the Pacers take a chance here with Simons. 21. Minnesota Timberwolves from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Kaida Bates-Diop, power forward, Ohio State. Bates-Diop had an outstanding junior collegiate season. What hurts Bates-Diop is his lack of athleticism, but his season cannot be ignored due to his outstanding shooting and providing matchup problems for the opposition. 22. Chicago Bulls from the New Orleans Pelicans. Jacob Evans, shooting guard, small forward, Cincinnati. Evans' upside is limited, though, because he's an erratic shooter and isn't aggressive at the rim. His defense is his strength, and he can guard both wing positions very well. 23. Utah Jazz. Aaron Holiday, point guard, UCLA. Holiday's another one of my sleepers. Holiday is a great scorer and shooter, especially from distance, and can hold his own defensively, but he isn't great at getting in the paint. He'd be a nice backup point guard on the right team. 24. Portland Trailblazers. Caleb Martin, shooting guard, small forward, Nevada. Martin's stock is trending up as he had a great NCAA tournament. Martin is versatile and he provides scoring and great shooting. He is one of my sleepers this year and could be a steal if picked in the late first round. 25. Los Angeles Lakers from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Jontay Porter, center, Missouri. Porter quietly bursted onto the scene as a freshman in light of his brother in his brief college career. Porter is a great all-around player with his rebounding and passing and can shoot it from three. He could be a poor man's Nikola Jokic. 26. Philadelphia 76ers. Kyrie Thomas, shooting guard, Creighton. Thomas is interesting because he doesn't have much upside. What Thomas does have, though, is two-way presence with great shooting and perimeter defending. This pick would be a solid one for the Sixers, considering that J.J. Redick might leave in free agency this summer. 27. Boston Celtics. Moritz Wagner, power forward, Michigan. Wagner's stock is trending upwards after a great NCAA tournament. He displays a nice shooting stroke, although his release is slow. He's a great three-point shooter, and as this makes him a very tough cover for opposing defenders. 28. Golden State Warriors. DeAnthony Melton, shooting guard, USC. Mellon was held out of the entire season by USC following the program's role in the FBI investigation. What the Trojans missed was a bulldog defender and a skilled passer who found ways to impact the game even without a dependable jump shot. He has a Swiss Army knife type of skill set that would fit well on any bench. 29. Brooklyn Nets from the Toronto Raptors. Isaac Bonga, small forward, power forward from Germany. Bonga is the age of some high school seniors, but he's already essentially playing as a 6'9" point guard for his German pro team. Part of that is because he's a poor shooter and scorer who doesn't make much an impact off the ball. Still, he has interesting tools and could be a draft and stash option late in the first round. 30. Atlanta Hawks from the Houston Rockets. Jalen Brunson, point guard, Villanova. Brunson's stock has risen due to a great NCAA tournament. He's not the biggest or most athletic point guard, but he's a skilled scorer and a 40% three-point shooter who has a comprehensive understanding of the game. He should have a long career in the league. And that's my 2018 second edition of the mock draft. All NBA teams. Damian Lillard, James Harden, LeBron James, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Anthony Davis is my first team. That is the correct first team in my opinion, as those guys all could end up finishing in the top 5 of the MVP ballots. Second team, Russell Westbrook, Victor Oladipo, Kevin Durant, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Joel Embiid. Third team, Chris Paul, DeMar DeRozan, Jimmy Butler, Al Horford, and Karl Anthony Towns. I put Towns in there due to his great play once Jimmy Butler was hurt. And Ben Simmons was the snub here, as I chose Butler over Simmons. Defense. First team. Drew Holiday, Jimmy Butler, Victor Oladipo, Anthony Davis, and Rudy Gobert. Second team. Ben Simmons, Robert Covington, Draymond Green, Al Horford, and Joel Embiid. All rookie team. First team. Ben Simmons, Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, Kyle Kuzma, and Lauri Markkanen. Second team, Dennis Smith, Lonzo Ball, Josh Jackson, Jordan Bell, and John Collins. There's a lot of other arguments for all the other teams, as you can make a case for Rudy Gobert making an All-NBA, or De'Aaron Fox making the rookie team, or there's a lot of other cases that could be made. That's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything from NBA playoffs to Stanley Cup playoffs to Major League Baseball, and I'll go over any other news that breaks. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.